Doctors of Reddit, what is your craziest story where a patient present with mild symptoms thinking it was nothing and it turned out to be a serious life or death situation? Saw a patient with minor cardiovascular symptoms and a slight pain in his upper back. The senior debated back and forth whether it would make sense to run a CT to rule out anything more serious. She finally decided to do it, and it turned out he had a massive aortic dissection and was basically wheeled right into the OR.
My dad woke up with severe back pain one morning after not doing anything strenuous the weeks/days leading up to it. My mom flipped her shit and finally put her foot down that he had to go to the doctor after him putting off going to a doctor for years even for a routine checkup. That appointment showed a broken rib from a huge tumor on his spine, along with tumors around his buttocks/pelvis and upper back. Diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. 5 years and 100 treatments later he's still kicking it.
A man came to the hospital because his wife always complained about his bad breath. Long story short, I met him because they consulted my department when the tissue biopsy came back as esophageal cancer. I'm a nurse, not a doctor, but we had a guy come in years ago asking for a medication to help him stop sweating. He said he had had a sore throat for about a week, went to a walk-in clinic, was diagnosed with strep throat and put on antibiotics, but he was so sweaty and just wanted a break from it. He looked pale and was indeed sweaty, so we took him back and ran some blood tests. His white blood count was the highest I've ever seen and he was diagnosed with leukemia. We sent him to another hospital for immediate treatment, but we were informed he died literally hours after arriving. Incredibly sad, I couldn't believe it.
Not a doctor's perspective, but my dad went to his doctor because he suddenly didn't like the taste of broccoli. Dad was otherwise healthy, late 60s, fairly active guy. He was diagnosed with leukemia. Patient's wife called. Patient had a temperature of 98.6. No other symptoms. I explained that it was a normal temperature, but the wife said that's a fever for him. She said she felt like something was wrong, despite no other symptoms. I told her that I respect that and that if she feels something is wrong she should get him checked out in the ER. The ER doctor called 4 hours later and said they did all they could do for him, but he died of sepsis. He appeared to be normal when he got there but rapidly declined. That gave me a new appreciation that we truly can evaluate someone thoroughly over a telephone.
I'm a dentist. New PT came in with what he thought was a mild ache in his teeth. Thought it was a toothache. Hadn't seen a dentist in years. Took a radiograph and the jawbone around the teeth looked strange. Had him see an oral surgeon that day. Turned out was a very aggressive metastatic bone cancer and died a few weeks later.
PSA, everyone who's a hypochondriac, stop reading this thread.
Removed.
But had a patient in my ER who came in for a lingering flu diagnosed with an extremely aggressive form of leukemia.